Hello. Yeah, as my hair slowly turns into a piece of modern art, just let it go wild and free. I didn't think I'd be back on today because I thought to myself, one review is enough, especially one as gripping the Formula One. But I thought to myself, I just saw this beautiful documentary, and it was this one called Unraveled, and it's the end of the line for all our strange whims, all our strange afterthoughts, all our late night eBay shopping, all our following trends, all our our bid and being led by constantly buying more clothes. This is a documentary about people in India who get sent all our second-hand clothes, and they break it down into fabrics, and they're all working there at the factory, laughing at all the different strange dresses and clothes that they get sent. Because basically they're just there and they've got a metal thing, and they're just pushing the labels, so they're getting the labels off. So there's no evidence that the clothes were ever there, and that's all they do all day, just push the labels off. And they're sitting there in the baking hot sun, happy people, sitting there laughing at all our neurosis and obsession of wanting more clothes and more strange looking clothes. And I was looking at this and I was like, "Jeepers, these people are happy doing this." And I was like, this is a really interesting documentary because normally it shows Indian people looking sad or, I think, but this is a documentary that shows Indian people looking happy. And they always talk about their fate and destiny. She's always like, work all day to Westerners' secondhand clothes, but I would love to go to the West. And she was talking about going to America. And she says, well, maybe if it's not my fate to go to America, it might be my child's fate to go to America, like to, to have that perspective of that, you're part of a greater whole. And I was like, wow, such a strange philosophical thing. It's like when you go in all them shops with all them shiny products, all them plastic products, and you're looking around, but like them things are gonna last for thousands of years in the earth. And they weren't even nice to begin with. You look around them pound shops, and some of the products you're like, do we need 17 different colors of blue imitation, And you're just like, even the waste from toys and clothes is shocking. And I'm getting more into this sort of thing because I would like to be seen as a person who's more ethical these days. I thought since I'm getting older, I might as well become ethical. I've had my fun of buying pre-marked clothes and stuff like that. So I got more time for these documentaries. I just turned vegetarian as well. Now I'm one of them annoying lecturers vegetarians. So I've got more time for documentaries like this, whereas before I would have been a bit like, oh well, fuck it. You gotta get what you gotta get. And sometimes when you see a beautiful dress, you just got to have it, even if it is 4 in the morning and you're buying it on someone else's credit card. But that definitely program did make you think we're a problem, aren't we, in the first world? We're just a big consuming monster, and everyone else has to pay the tab for our neurosis. And but these women had this strange community of people that work all day and are just happy making threads and breaking down. And you never get to see the end of the line of clothes. You always see them in the shops new, and then you see them second hand, and then you see them in people's houses, and then you see them in charity shops. But then these shops popped up saying, "We buy any clothes," and I was all like, "We buy any clothes?" And then they were talking about, fiver per pound, and I was like, "Jesus, how much clothes?" But people must be going around and with trucks all around the world and filling them up full of strange clothes and selling them by the pound. And I was like, "This is bizarre." But I suppose it's not. Someone designed it at one stage. It took energy. It took our finite resources to design it in the first place. Why wouldn't people use it again and reuse it? But you never think about that element of like, and then we ship it all to well, I don't think India is the third world. I think that's a bit elitist. let's call it the second world or the emerging world. But yeah, no. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that one. It's a beautiful 14-minute documentary about happy people in India laughing at the West, which I find enjoyable because 2% you might not even see the West, but I might even see India, so I find it interesting exchange of ideas. And I kind of like when Indians laugh at the West. It's like, yeah, that's what you get.